My guest, Olaotan Fawehinmi, is a dynamic professional with a tenacious commitment to excellence and innovation. With a rich background in media and marketing communications, he has gained extensive expertise in public relations, e-commerce, media, hospitality, and NGOs. Olaotan's journey is marked by bold decisions and transformative leaps, which are evident in his transition from the construction world to the dynamic communication industry. Over time, he has excelled in developing brand strategies, managing campaigns, and producing compelling content for renowned brands such as ASOS, Conga, Jameson, Stanbic IBTC, MasterCard Foundation, White & McKay Scotch Whiskies, and Clarence Dillion's Wines, among others. Now, beyond his professional endeavors, Olaotan is deeply committed to empowering teenagers and youths. Now, for over 5 years, he has dedicated his time to consistently training hundreds of teenagers on self-discovery, fulfillment, and actualization. He advocates for nurturing young minds to unlock their full potentials. Many thanks for joining me on Business Insight. Once again, each time I read your profile, like, only you kilo, they kilo, shell.
Just getting started.
The sky is just the starting point, don't worry. So there's so much to actually achieve.
Right.
Been a while you've been here.
Right.
How's it going?
Very good, very good. I'm happy to be here again.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're still around. I thought you'd have joined the syndrome. You're not.
Well, so if that happens, then we leave a lot of hole to be filled, right? So there's a lot of work to do here. I think that when you have challenges,
yes,
you need to depend on the very strong minds that are in the system, you know, to find a solution,
yes,
or to find solutions to the system. So it's not. I don't really think that everybody moving away is the solution. Even if you have to, I've always advocated for. You can explore, right? Go out, see. I'm not against people moving. I mean, going out. It's good. I mean, go out and see things. Yes, you can never build what you haven't seen, right? So if we're talking of wanting to make Nigeria a developed countries, you have to see what works in developed countries. Right. So you go around, you see things. When you see it, it gives you a picture in your mind that you can come back
and recreate.
That's why I kind of feel funny when I see that a lot of, you know, our leaders, a lot of leaders across board, I'm not just talking about political leaders, but leaders across board who have traveled, you know, seen developed countries, how things work, the road system, the power system, things, a lot of things, and then we still come back here and
don't replicate it.
Yeah, everything is still like
same
business as usual. So I'm wondering, so what exactly is the issue, right? So if I would say that if we have the plan to see what's happening across the borders, right? Let's do that with the mindset that we want to replicate it and ensure that we're building our own home as well.
That works. That should be the main word there. Not just to jackpot for running sake, but just see things, know things, and come and develop your own country.
Exactly.
Let's just get deeply into what we are discussing today. You know, because some people might say being a Nigerian is hard enough. You know, but right now it's been so wonderful in quote with all of the challenge, the daunting challenge that we've had to be faced with in the past 1 year or thereabouts. You know, high inflation, float of the naira, currency, forex, and every day the fuel price is not fueling at all. So how do we just navigate through all of these troubled waters?
Well, we're here, and that's what I keep saying. I always have conversations with younger people, my professional colleagues and everything. And I say that we are here already. There is nothing, there's no going back. There's nothing we can do about it. What then do we do? It's now us thinking forward, feeling forward. Like you can't run away, and then you can't remain the way you are. You have to find solutions, right? That's what I keep saying.
If not, you just sink.
Exactly, right? And what then do you do? You know, really recently, I thought back. I was very, very aware of 1993 during the elections.
Okay.
SDP, NRC, and all of that.
MK Abiola and then Tofa.
Yeah, I was in secondary school, and I definitely knew what happened at that time. Guess what? There was fuel scarcity. Recently, I saw a report of 1973. The newspaper I was making was in the social media space recently.
Yeah.
There was fuel scarcity. 1973. I remember growing up. I can't remember. I think a tin of milk was less than 5 naira at that time. But then I remember vividly that my mom would come home and say that she went to the market today. Everything is so expensive, and you're there. You're wondering, what's this woman saying? Because we didn't understand. We were children. Now we understand because we're adults, and we're still complaining about the same thing. What am I saying? If you look at the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, till where we are here now, there has never been a point where anybody has said, oh, everything is so rosy, we're good. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah, so at that time, it looked like buying a tin of milk for less than 5 naira or 1 naira was, oh, good. If it was now, you wish that we could go back to where we used to buy it like that. But then, they didn't say it like that.
Then it was still very expensive.
It was expensive for them. So my father, who was working and was making money, for him it was expensive at that time because what he was making, by the time he shares it with school fees, but then, he had his house, so he wasn't paying house rent. But if he was doing school fees, food, clothing, everything, he would say that, everything is expensive because mom would come back and say, the money you have given us is not enough, you need to add to it. And it's the same story now. So what has changed? Nothing.
Nothing. Oh, absolutely nothing.
Nothing. So,
same old story.
Exactly. So if there was fuel scarcity in the 70s, if there was fuel scarcity in the 80s, if there was fuel scarcity in the 90s, then there is still fuel scarcity now.
Right now, true.
Right now. So then what is the way out? The way out is to help yourself amid the uncertainties.
So how do you go about helping yourself?
Fantastic. You know, recently I was going to come up with a magazine, first edition, and I reached out to some professionals that I wanted them to collaborate, come together, and provide content for the magazine. Yeah. And I spoke to a financial expert, and he threw in his own contribution. I was shocked when I saw it. He called it the EMTYS principle. And so when I read it, I'm sorry, I'm going to give a spoiler to this magazine, but it's fine for the sake of the show, right? So he said, before now, the learning has been spend less than you earn, so that you can have savings.
Yes.
But now, where do you get the savings from? Before the money even comes in, fuel is calling, food is calling, rent is calling, school fees is calling. So the concept of saving for all you care is constantly fizzling out. I had a conversation with a friend who works in one of the biggest financial institutions in Nigeria. She said to me, Olaotan, I am waking up every morning and I'm feeling like I'm gradually sliding into the lower class of the economy. That's
even with his so-called well-paid job.
Yes, that's the reality. Because before the money comes in, there's the whole lot of expenses waiting for you to suck it up.
Yeah.
Right? So that's it. So the principle before was spend less than you earn.
For saving, yes.
That's changed.
Because at the end of the day, what you earn is not even enough to make for your daily or your monthly needs, as the case may be. So now to talk of what exactly can you save out of what is not even enough.
Exactly. So you can't save.
Because everything has gone skyrocket and the baseline has not changed.
Has not changed. So look at, by March last year, a liter of fuel was less than 200 naira. Now it's over 1,000 naira. That's like times 5.
Yes, over 500%.
So you can imagine your income hasn't changed, but everything you spend money on has gone times 5. Transportation, fuel, everything has gone times 5. Food has gone times 5. So what then do you do? So it's not a concept of spend less than you earn right now. It's earn more than you spend.
Understand. So earning more would mean maybe diversifying motive streams.
Fantastic. Oh, you say, oh, Olaotan, you're just speaking English. It's easier said than done, but that's the way out. I mean, you just read my profile. I had a construction background. I spent over 10 years studying quantity surveying in construction. Here am I. I've spent over 15 years in communications. You know, back in the days, you will feel like, no, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. It's okay. As long as whatever it is you're doing is putting food on your table. But when I made that switch, some of my friends will come to me and say, oh, I've got this project. Let's do it together. I do the project part, you do the QS part, we split the money. But I felt, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not interested, you know. And then you keep throwing money away and then you say you're not interested. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So what then you do? You have certain knowledge in an area. Even if you're not interested, it's time to look at it. You're not interested in agriculture. You know, when you mention agriculture to young people, they say, no, it's too dirty. They don't want to do it. Do you understand? But if you think critically, there's a value chain. You may not even show up at all, and then you're making money. What do? Play the middleman. So there's a dirty man in the farm who is making those things, and then there's a dirty driver who has a car and can move it from the village to the Lagos. But there's a clean you that can stand between that dirty people and the end users. And this is why don't you just plug in? You make the money, you share it. The guy in the village gets his own. The driver who has brought it gets his own. You who have been in between get your own.
And you're actually adding value.
Yes. There are actually some products that they make in my town that you don't get anywhere else, that kind of quality. Do you know that I got to a point where I started to look at those products and I started to bring them from the town here in Lagos?
Okay.
And then started to get it into the hands of people who need it. One of it is shea butter. You don't get the same quality anywhere like you get from
town.
I'm going to tell you. When you go there, I go and carry it. I'm not going to tell you.
High quality shea butter.
That is the truth.
Okay.
There are places where you get honey the best quality honey, the best quality palm wine in the village.
True.
But then we're here in Lagos looking for that big tie. I like your tie. That's what everybody's looking for. But I hope all the young people know what you went through to wear this beautiful tie. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's good to wear the tie and the shirt and be called MD or CEO or whatever it is. But it's time we look back at what other streams can we plug into.
So at what point now do you begin to consider the streams of income? Because some people are like, okay, I want to, get this particular capital outlay before I now branch out, because I might not necessarily do well if I just start out small, because right now the economy is not really smiling, and we've been talking about multi-streams of income over time, but people don't even know. They say they don't even have other talents. They are just into finance and that's what they can do. So how do you address such people?
I'll go back. I'm not sure I mentioned this principle the last time I was here. I'll go back to it.
Okay.
SUD principle.
SUD. Okay.
Principle. I'm sure I mentioned it. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. That's the principle I live by. That's the principle that successful people live by.
Start where you are.
Use what you have. Use what you have. Do what you can.
Do what you can. Okay.
If you're waiting for that big capital, it will never come. You see, but you have a phone that has contacts. You see, the problem is we're looking to get all the millions in one day. No. There's a point where you do like a test run. You have to test the waters, and you use people that are close to you.
Okay.
I was training some teenagers, a foundation recently, right? A week. So I was one of the facilitators, and during my session, I was telling them how you can leverage the contact that you currently have. You see, a lot of times you just feel like, oh, I want to start selling rice because I love to sell rice. So you go the next morning, you just go to your church and then you cook rice and then you put it and then you tell people you want to sell rice. For all you care, they are not interested in rice. I say, before you jump into selling rice, why don't you just ask questions?
Yes. Need.
Yes. Walk from the consumer back. Ask questions. What do they need? So just go into church that day and see a group of people and say, oh, would you actually like to eat rice every afternoon when we finish service? Maybe 8 out of 10 says yes. What kind of rice would you like to eat? Fried, white, white. Okay, fine. How much are you actually willing to pay for a bowl of rice? 5 naira, 10 naira. You are doing research. You think research is going to some big companies, KPMG? No, that's not research.
Yeah.
Asking questions. By the time you ask 10, 15, 20 people,
Okay.
you've done research.
Okay.
And so you get your data, and you, based on that, begin to produce that rice.
Okay, so fine, because of time now. So
Right.
multi streams of income, understanding the market by doing research.
Yes.
So after that, where do you go from there?
In your own little way, when you have done that, then leverage the contact that you have, the people that you have. There is probably that person who has done it before
Okay.
that you can ask. Oh, when you were doing it, how did you do it? What lessons did you learn?
Yeah.
The challenge is we don't ask questions. That's most times why we find ourselves where we are.
Okay.
Where do you go from there? Use the insight from the small questions. If I say research, people will run away. So let me say from the small questions that you ask around. Move.
Okay.
Take actions.
Okay.
Right? Do the first one. Maybe from the ones you have in your house.
Yes.
Do it. Give it to 5 people to try it out.
Okay.
I started out as a copywriter. Then I would write an article and share with my siblings
Yes.
and some of my friends and say, read this, what do you think? Oh, it's fantastic, but you should have done this, but you should have done this.
Okay.
That's it. So you start with that very brilliant friend that you have. Oh, I'm doing
immediate
this.
environment.
Your immediate environment, your circle.
Okay.
Start with them first. Ask them questions. Try this. What do you think? When you have done that, you gain more insight. Then you expand. You start from 5, then you go to 10.
Yeah.
From 10 becomes 20. And then it goes and on like that.
Okay.
The article that goes in the Punch and Vanguard today that everybody's reading started with just 2 people from my family reading.
True.
But they enjoyed it. Then he moved to my friends. Then they enjoyed it. Then he moved to everybody.
You need the global.
It's the same thing. So when you're building streams of income, don't think that you want to make the millions in
All
one
right.
day.
Okay.
Start small.
Okay.
Start with 5, your immediate environment, and expand from there.
All right,
little by little.
Okay, they are chasing me away from the studio. But just before we go, if anyone has not picked anything from this, now what would that word be for that professional who is actually going through stormy waters and just like need a change?
Right. So I say that just go with the SUD principle.
Okay.
Wherever you are now is good enough to start. Look at that thing that you can do so well. Look at that thing that you can do so well, and then start it in your own little way with 5 people, with 2 people, with 10 people, right? Use that thing that you have. It's your phone. Is it your internet? Is it your contact? Start with them. And just do what you can. You see these hands that you have, these eyes, these ears, these legs, everything is enough for you to start where you are.
All right, thank you so much. We have been looking at ways to navigate through stormy waters in the country, and my guest has been Olaotan Fawehinmi. Many thanks for your time once again. It's always enjoyable talking to you. All right.
Same here. Thank you, Justin.
All right, that's as much as we can take on the show for today. Many thanks for being there. My name is Justin Akadonye. See you again next time. Bye for now.